I've just seen a message by the governor of, I've not verified it, but I've seen a message on social media from the governor of, purportedly from the governor of Homa Bay. And she's listing a number of fresh incidents that have happened after the murder of Mr. Ojwang. So let us condemn it in the strongest term possible. And I invite all of you to ventilate this issue so that we can have a clear way forward. And we close ranks, move as one. This country belongs to us. Kenya is a republic. And in the words of Benjamin Franklin, a republic, we must keep it. It's an ongoing concern. Let us work and make sure our country remains a country of the rule of law, and any rogue elements, from the president to whoever it is in the public service, is taken out where they don't obey the law. So welcome, and I hand the mic back to Abaya to continue the process, the chat.
Thank you so much. The sixth, Bwana Senator Mtata. I can see people have already joined us, and we just want to have a conversation on this issue because this has to end. There's no way we're going to the streets. The same guys we are picketing against are showing up to the streets and killing us, and they are giving us stories that do not make any sense. So, Wakili Baraka, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Take the mic kindly.
I think I totally agree with Senator Umtata in regards to this matter. I think the governor for Homa Bay also in the list that that has been shared, she's indicated that a fisherman was allegedly arrested, not allegedly, was arrested, and the police are alleging that he committed suicide while in the police cells. So essentially now we're in a situation where somebody can just come up to my house or my room or wherever I am in the streets or in the market. It doesn't really matter, and take me to the police station and knock my head, and once I'm dead, they'll just come up and say that this individual committed suicide, or strangle me and say that this individual strangled themselves or they hanged themselves. And we are called to remember Robert Oko and to remember that the unfortunate circumstances we find ourselves are not new, but what will be more unfortunate is us being silent, us allowing the perpetrators to pacify us using money which does not ensure that there is justice, to pacify us with words which do not bring about justice. They want to pacify us with empty rhetoric and promises of CCTVs which do not work when they're supposed to work, which suddenly they malfunction, or they somehow somebody manages to delete the footage just when it is convenient for them, and when it's inconvenient for us also, the footage suddenly appears of people, for example, doing when it's convenient for them, the footage suddenly appears. So it's something that for us we have to ensure that at all times that this thing stops, ends. I do not even have words to how to make it very clear to you that we have to rise up against these things. We have to come together. We have to start organizing ourselves and knowing that indeed our government has failed in protecting us, and it is continuing to fail in protecting us. I think yesterday was very clear when we were out there in the streets, and you will see these goons, these police protected individuals. They are coming to attack shops, and the police are just watching them. Personally, for me, I've been a victim last year. Unfortunately, yesterday I was not a victim, but one of our team members was a victim yesterday. She was attacked and she was hospitalized briefly. And even another one today, she's still in hospital. Two ladies who were brutalized. And yesterday we saw a mama in the streets also. I think she was a Corino. The goons just took her kibeti and were beating her up with the sticks. And it is quite unfortunate that the police who are supposed to protect us are not protecting us. What do we do when that happens? And I think I'll echo something that was spoken yesterday while we were on the streets, that it is high time for us to come back and sit and deliberate and put our heads together and see how do we fight back. And we really have to fight back through all the means possible. And in this situation, we do not have to turn the similar or same like our oppressors, but we have to fight back actively and in a non-violent manner. Actively meaning that we have to be able to defend ourselves lawfully. For example, if somebody comes in here trying to vulgar and sort of steal a certain place, it is my duty to protect my property or even the property of others. And also, we have to be aware of this. And how do we make sure that we protect ourselves? We protect the lives of others who are vulnerable. For example, that mama I saw immediately when the individual was beat up. That mama, the boda boda guys there, the riders, they went after the guy and they took the kibeti and they beat up this gentleman. That is within the mandate of a lawful action in preventing the action. But immediately they started, they got hold of this gentleman. We saw that the police, instead of arresting him, they actually chased away the boda guys, and then they left this guy to walk scot-free. And it was very fascinating for us who were there to just see this happen in front of our eyes. The police were supposed to uphold the law and not upholding the law. What then should we do in these circumstances? And I think it's up to us as citizens to start organizing and to start coming together and say this is enough, to band together and to come out strongly. And here doesn't mean that just talking about it on social media, but coming out and writing to your MPs, your MCAs, everybody, standing up when the end police brutality protests are going to be happening, which will continue to happen, and making as much noise as possible, lawfully, as the Constitution has provided for. And also I'm encouraging for the lawyers, because I'm seeing there are lawyers in this group. We have to come together and make sure that we can start pushing for private prosecution, can start also collecting this evidence so that we have it. I know we talk about documenting, but I've not seen a concrete body. I've seen, yes, who's Khalid, they're doing a brilliant work there, but we have to understand that the state that we are living in today, that is essentially upon the state in which the circumstances we find ourselves, and the state in the case of the government in place and the place where we are. It is a time where the people have to come together and start identifying these sponsors, because the Korogocha MCA, for example, the day before yesterday, he was talking about sending people to the streets. Yesterday, he was threatening a lady online, and we saw the screenshots, and we looked into it, and we have actually seen the history of him threatening people. The Korogocha MCA, we have seen somebody come out and list some of the goons who are sent from Lango Kubwa, and we saw yesterday also the gentleman was being threatened. Now, how do we do when this gentleman is going to the police? The police are not helping him. We really have to come together and put our heads together, as we are doing at the moment, and start thinking, how do we change the circumstances that we find ourselves in before more people die? Because if we talk about 2027, indeed, we can see that is a lawful election that could happen then. But by then, so many people, even if you talk about protecting the election, somebody was pointing out yesterday, these guys, if they're going to have the capacity to kill people, to shoot people in broad daylight? What is going to prevent them from killing presiding officers, from killing agents when that time comes? What is going to prevent them is the solidarity of the people. Because if we are so many of them, they can't kill everybody. But if we are so isolated and we do not come together to bring our ideas and make sure that we organize ourselves as lawyers in this space to be able to challenge them and go to court, because today we haven't seen the two police officers being arraigned, and there are so many other police officers who have been captured. They've not been arraigned, and we have seen the LSK is trying so much to also come into the fore to follow up in these matters. But as citizens, also we'll also have to become more active in starting from as early as right now. Start calling out these people by name and forwarding this to centralized channels and also online and everywhere, so that everybody is sensitized on these matters and taking another step further to come out and stand up in wherever you are across the country, not just in Nairobi, so that they can be reminded, and we can also remind each citizen.
Baraka, land kindly, so that we can also hear from the rest.
That is it. I'm done, I suppose, and hopefully we can have a robust discussion. And the ideas, I suppose Senator is also listening, and the team, they can be noted, and hopefully we can have a collective action starting from tomorrow, going through next week, and put pressure on the government. And also we can see other actions we can take collectively to put pressure locally and internationally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wakili Baraka, and I agree with you. This has to stop, and we must look for a solution. Now let's go to Rasji, and when you're speaking, kindly give us the solutions. What do you think we need to do urgently so that we can end this once and for all? Rasji, karibu.
Asante sana, my friend Abaya. Can I kindly speak after the next speaker? Kidogo tu, is it okay?
It's okay. Remo, you've been here. Kindly take the mic. Or James. James. James, kindly take the mic. Or Munyiri. Munyiri, you can speak.
Okay, Abaya, let me go. Since you're not prepared, let me just go.
Okay.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Hello, guys. I am around. I can speak.
3 minutes, kindly.
I can speak.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. So thank you very much for hosting the space. Yeah, of course, we can all see how the state is continuing its fascist methods of retaining power, because, as we all know right now, the current government is extremely unpopular among the masses. So that's why they have to resort to such crude methods of holding power. But the good thing is that as long as the state, the government is unpopular with the people, we shall surely succeed in the end. So I'd like to urge all of us to keep up, to continue with the struggle. And most importantly, I would urge us to join organizations and avoid being spontaneous. Let's join organizations and actively be part of organizing, not only when there is such uprisings, because such uprisings most of the time usually find us very unprepared. So even if there is no such uprising, let's keep organizing, let's keep mobilizing, because the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to seize political power, and so that we can implement the better ideas that we all have. Thank you very much for the microphone.
Thank you so much, James. Ras, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, my friend Abaya. And let me first thank you so much for hosting this space. Salute our good senator. Thank you for organizing this forum. It was so important. And this comes at the backdrop of being served a buffet of negative things. We have barely rested. We started with the torture of Agatha and Boniface Mwangi. In these also the police are involved because it is believed there was communication between authorities in Kenya and Tanzania. Before we rested, we went to an MP being abducted. Also, the police are in the center of this. Before again, we breathed, Rose Njeri was taken. Also, again, the police are involved in an unlawful arrest. Even before that, other people, a guy is killed in Nakuru. We saw where Murkomen camps, interior CS. People abducted there, their bodies found in Nakuru. So, and then we come now to Ojwang. So we are asking ourselves, Senator, what is happening in the police service? Because initially it used to be a force, but now there is this impunity, and it is almost going out of hand. And as Kenyans, we are so much concerned. We are very concerned, because parents cannot continue. We cannot do this as business as usual. And I'm glad Baraka has touched on something that is very dear to the country. Is this the way they are going? Are these the same policemen that we are expecting them to oversee an election next year? What prevents them? With siding with our oppressors and helping him even manipulate the election? So the nation has to have this conversation. We really need to have this conversation. We need to put our jerseys aside. Those who like wearing tribal jerseys and stuff, political affiliation. This is not the time. This is the time to ask the administration of William Samoei Ruto, because it has failed us. It has failed us in many fronts. We have a presidency that has total disregard of the constitution. When you go ahead and even decide to gazette an appointment, gazette the IEBC, when you know very well there is a court process that has stopped that. So Okia, we really need, as a leader, you really need to tell Kenyans what is the way forward, because we are dealing with an administration that has absolutely put the constitution aside and decided to do its own things. Before what happened in Nairobi, we saw leaders in this country converge in Western Kenya, and we saw them issue direct instruction to the governor of Nairobi. And that one was done by Farouk. We have all those clips. Farouk instructing Governor Sakaja to make sure, I don't know what he meant that Nairobi is protected. If Nairobi is protected is what we saw, goons being unleashed to innocent Kenyans, then we have lost it as a country. Governor Sakaja should be held accountable, and the business people who lost property yesterday should sue the county government on Nairobi and individually hold responsible Governor Sakaja. Governor Sakaja and the MCAs, some MCAs in Nairobi, cannot be allowed to walk away with this. We are aware that Nairobi leaders mostly allied to the opposition, and because of this unholy union called broad-based government, they have decided to make Nairobi a hub of activities where goons can do what they wish. We want to remind Sakaja and the rest of the leaders, there is a constitution in this land, and whether it takes 100 years, 1,000 years, the wheels of justice at some place will catch up with them. Kwa hivyo tusinyamaze tu. When things get wrong, it is time again for us to put aside our differences. I know we are advocating for various things, various presidential candidates, but our country is dealing with individuals
who are not ready, and they are running away from accountability because they know they have looted this country. So the only option they have is to make sure that they retain power at all costs. Let us not allow them to run away. And to the international community, we are appealing. This is the moment that the spotlight should be in this republic. You saw a policeman even at the backdrop of an ongoing incident of Albert Ochieng. If these police officers were to learn, it demonstrated yesterday they are not ready to learn. And it is time we checked what is happening in Nairobi, because it seems there is a particular unit of police, and it is time we had a conversation as a nation. Thank you, Abaya, for giving me the mic.
Thank you so much, Ras. And you put it very clear that we cannot continue this way, and there has to be a solution. And indeed, we must find a way out of this. I can say Mudiora Kariara has just joined us. Mudiora, I don't know whether you're in a position to speak.
Well, thank you, Abaya. Thank you, everyone who has joined this space this evening. I'll be saying more as we've had quite a packed day. We've spent the whole day at Kenyatta National Hospital, and we have updates from there with regard to those who are injured during yesterday's Mandamano. So as I gather myself, as I put myself together, let's proceed with who's here. Let me give Abaya to carry on, and then I'll just come with an update with regard to what we've been up to.
Thank you so much. The events of yesterday were so heartbreaking. Seeing a police officer shooting someone live on camera, I really, mazai nauma sana. I don't know whether these people have families. Do they have brothers and sisters? I don't understand. Remo A, what are your thoughts? What do we need to do urgently? Because this cannot continue this way. Remo A. Remo, if you can hear us. Okay, Baraka, back to you. We need this conversation going, and from the look of things, we do not know. Of course, Senator today was at Kenyatta Hospital, and the guy who was shot yesterday, we're not even sure. I think there is something that Kenyatta Hospital is lying about. We are not sure if that person is alive or not. So we just want a confirmation, and that one, it means that we have to come back to the streets to demand justice for not only Ojwang, but police brutality. We have to. Baraka.
Yes. I think for you who've been at KNH today, you've definitely been taken around on the state of things. And for those of us who were around or had information yesterday at KNH, for those who could have been there, you could have seen that it's a funny thing that police were coordinating with goons. They were helping goons to make sure that you will not access the place if you are not allied with the state. And also yesterday, I think there was when most of the people were being brought, you could see that there was a bit of aggression from several other people who we could not identify. And it is clear that we are on our own, and I think that's why we are talking about not just police brutality, but state-sponsored violence right now. That is state-sponsored and state-backed. That is, they have allowed it to happen, and they are coordinating it to happen. They're not just coordinating it to happen in the streets, but once you get to the hospital, they're also coordinating it to happen there, so that if there were no people there, they might start beating people who are being brought in the hospitals and finishing them right there. And you do not necessarily know who is a medic, who is a police officer or plainclothes police officer. It is crazy, the country that we find ourselves in. And I think that is why this space has been put up. It is a reminder to us to sort of sit back and rethink what is going to be happening in the future. This is a bipartisan discussion. We do not care which alignment you have. We're talking about the lives of Kenyans, our lives, your life and my life. You could be going around your business like yesterday, the hawkers who were harassed, the bodabodas who were harassed, the mamas who were harassed, and everybody who was harassed. You could be going through your way. The fisherman who has been, who for me, I believe he was murdered in the cell, and the police now are saying he committed suicide, and you find that you're just being killed. So we have to start asking ourselves questions. Do we just sit back and let the state and its backers murder people, or do we stand up? And for me, I feel that we have to stand up in whichever space we are in. We have to come to the streets and raise our voices so that we can be heard. Because if you do not, then we're not going to be heard. We're going to just be picked off one by one. Also, we have to use all the legal means necessary and available to us to pressure people. We've seen that most of them, they have not come out to speak on this matter, to make even a statement in terms of being an arm of government, which should also hold the other arms of the executive and the legislature accountable. So it is important for us to stand up, first of all. That is the bare minimum we can do, to raise our voices online, to raise our voices in the spaces we are in the workplaces, and to say, have you seen this thing? We have to stand up for ourselves. We have to organize to be able to respond to these matters. So I think that is the most important thing. And I think I'm happy to see KOT on board, and I've seen them organizing to respond. I've seen Kina Baha yesterday, he was there and he was harassed so much. He had to change clothes so that he can access the Kenya National Hospital, because if you're seen to be a helper of people, they do not want you there. They do not want you to give information on the injured, on those who have been killed, if the people have been killed. For example, information has come up and confirmed, and I'll have to point that out, that there was a child who was a tear gas canister exploded, and he died yesterday, and the mother has been crying, and we have seen that the state is stifling that. You want to follow up on that matter, and you're being threatened, you're being pushed aside. So it becomes very clear that even for us who necessarily want to help, we cannot help because the state itself is creating a barrier between those who want to help and those who are suffering, and also creating a barrier in that the police themselves, even those within the force who want to help, they're also being threatened. So we have to stand up first and foremost. But I think other people have come on board. We can also have them speak and give solutions. I didn't give a solution in this segment, but I was just raising our concern so that it can spur this conversation, so that watu wengine pia waseme, what can we do? Tutafanya nini? So that the suggestion implemented. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Baraka. Abaya, if you allow me, I settled, and I wish to welcome all those who have joined as speakers. If you're in this space, kindly make your request and it will be accepted. We want every voice heard, every opinion considered, because this is a journey that requires all of us giving their best. So Buka, I see you there. I need you to come through after KOT gives us an update, because I remember him being very busy yesterday trying to make sure that all those who had been taken to the Kenyatta National Hospital were attended. KOT, after you speak, kindly accept that we are going to need you to co-host this space, because mpaka kukuche, tunataka tuwe hapa ndo tujue tunaelekea upande gani tutakapoamka siku ya kesho. So KOT, alafu twende kwa Buka.
Sawa. Shukran sana Mkiora. Na nawashukuru sana kwa kuweka hii space jioni hii ya leo. Sasa mimi nataka kwanza kuangazia mambo ambayo yalitokea jana. Kwanza ningependa sana kushukuru kila mmoja ambaye alijitokeza tukiweze kupigania nchi yetu na pia kujipigania sisi wenyewe. Na imekuwa justice for Juan, mmekuwa mnaona, na vitu ambazo zilitokea jana kwenye street, kulingana na mimi, hayo matukio hatukutarajia yawe kama yalivyokuwa jana. Ukiangalia serikali ambayo tuko nayo na serikali ya Nairobi ambayo inaongozwa na gavana Johnson Sakaja, aliweza kututumia majambazi. Hao ni majambazi kwa sababu hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye uko na akili timamu unaweza chukua fimbo ama nyahunyo ukiweza kumpiga mwenzako na kumpora simu, kumpora kama ni pochi lake, kila kitu. Sasa matukio ambayo yalitokea jana, kusema kweli, hiyo ni ukiukaji wa katiba, kwa sababu ukiangalia katiba yetu katika kipengele cha 37 inaturuhusu sisi kama Wakenya tukiweze kuandamana, na maandamano yanafaa kuwa maandamano ya amani. Sasa hapo jana gavana wa Nairobi Johnson Sakaja ni gavana ambaye anafaa kujua kwamba Wakenya wa sasa sio Wakenya wa zile enzi za kitambo. Tumesoma katiba, tukaichambua na tukielewa. Sasa gavana anafaa kujua kwamba iwapo kutakuwa na uchaguzi hivi karibuni, ole wake, kwa sababu viongozi wa sasa ambao ni vijana tumekataa hiyo dhulma na ule unyama ambao aliweza kuleta jana pale katika jiji kuu la Nairobi. Hiyo ni picha mbaya sana, kwenda kulipa vijana kutoka maeneo mbalimbali, wanakuja huku Nairobi, wanaanza kuleta vurugu. Na mliona pia hao vijana waliweza kucharazwa vibaya sana na wale waandamanaji ambao nilikuwa mmoja wao. Sasa gavana Sakaja, mahali upo, sipendelei sana kukutusi, lakini wewe ni mtu mwingine mshenzi sana ambao huwezi jua vitu vinafaa kufanyika ama kutendeka namna gani. Kesho nimesema bado tunarudi Nairobi jijini kuweza kuendelea na ile uandamanaji wetu. Na kwa sasa tunasema watu wajitokeze kwa wingi. Mtu asiende kuandamana Githurai ama Kawangware ama Kibera ama Mathare ama Kahawa. Wale waandamanaji wote ambao wamekuwa wanaandamana sehemu mbalimbali katika jiji la Nairobi, wote wakuje katikati ya jiji. Na watakapokuja pale katikati ya jiji na tuone tuko na namba nzuri, itabidi tuende tukauchukue mwili wa Albert pale kwenye makafani ama sijui naitwa aje, na tuupeleke kule kwa ikulu ya rais, akiweza kutuambia kama hiyo inakubalika katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. So guys, we honestly need to ensure that we demand for justice for Albert, because the moment we keep silent, these guys are still going to do all inhuman activities, is what happened yesterday. Some of the young people on the streets were shot by the same police. And I want to thank all the ex-DCI who ensured that we unmasked that rogue police. We identified his name, even his family, his phone number, even his rank and the station that he's placed. So you really did an amazing job, and we really need each and every person when we are going to protest tomorrow. Kesho ni Thursday, and we've always said that Thursday is Thursday. So watu wajitokeze. Mimi nitakuwa huko mapema, as I've always done. Mimi na Shakira tumesema tutakuja mapema, even as much as watu wengine wanaweza kuwa na uoga, lakini naweza kuambia kwamba wale wote ambao walikuwa jana bado kesho watakuwa. Rasji najua utakuwa, Baraka utakuwa, Fara utakuwa. na pia Rejoice, kina Ukio Mtata, najua wote watakuwa. Comrades wote kesho tunawahitaji pale kwenye streets za Nairobi. Hata kama ni kuleta vijana wenzetu kutoka maeneo mbalimbali ya jiji wakuje katikati ya jiji Nairobi, tutajitoa hilo jukumu wakiweze kukuja, kwa sababu tunahitaji numbers. Na kila wakati mmesikia tukisema hapa numbers matters. So guys, what I want to urge you is that let us ensure that we have that unity, and when we're on the streets, let them send the goons. The good thing is, as we speak, we know how to handle the goons, so we'll face them head on. Saizi hatuogopi. Yeah, tumekuwa tunafanya vitu peaceful. Like yesterday, I was asking one of our friends. There is a photo that was circulating, not even circulating, actually I was there when that incident happened along Koinange Street, whereby one of the goon was cornered. Now huyu goon tukamsalimia kidogo, and then we handed him over to his fellow goons, wakampandisha kwa hiyo lori yao as the goons, na wakaenda naye. So I was asking myself, if the person who was cornered was Mabonga, and the people who were surrounding Mabonga were the goons, will Mabonga get out of that place, I mean alive? I don't think so. Mimi najua mtu kama hauna ile roho ya kuua mtu, you find it very hard to even work on that person until he dies. And so, as peaceful protesters, we are going to be peaceful again. But we'll only be peaceful when not provoked. But if the police officers, the goons, Sakaja's boys, if they provoke us, then we are going to face them with the equal forces and the equal measures. Na saizi tunasema an eye for an eye. Any police officer who throws a tear gas will ensure that tear gas doesn't burst mahali tuko. We'll return it. And we have been doing that because it's an eye for an eye. Any goon who comes in and try to work on us, we also work on them with an equal effort. Because honestly, those goons yet they are trained
Thank you so much, KOT. And by the way, you've been a blessing in this revolution. And thank you so much for showing up yesterday, and also the energy. I saw Buka here, but Buka seems like he left. Wagesa, you've been here. Ras, your hand is up. Do you want to say something?
Briefly, just to add on what my brother has said, just to add on what KOT has said. I know yesterday, and this is, and I come in with the same spirit, and I think lawyers are here. We are appealing. There are three guys of ours, Wakobado Pale, Kamukunji, kindly the lawyers. And it is not our wish to be doing this, but mahali penye imefikia, we cannot continue handling William Ruto administration, the county government of Nairobi with gloved hands. They have already declared. The only thing sisi tunataka, we want a structured people defense force. So the lawyers in this platform kindly help us. Now we are also appealing because they are targeting soft targets like ladies. You saw what happened. They are robbing shops. So tunataka ile design yenye, if one of us can get trouble with the law, kindly guys, I know the Law Society has been very active on this. There are a lot of SMS also in our inboxes. There's a threats. NIS, I know they are very, very active. But I'm appealing to KOT and everybody now. Kina Shakira wako hapa. This is not how we can afford to back up. We cannot be giving them ati tunaenda leo kesho hatuko. We will serve them a cocktail of events. Tukimaliza Tuesday tunaenda Thursday. Tukitoka Thursday tunaingia Monday. It should be like this until William Ruto feels it. Because he has already indicated very well, he has told the country openly, I will not hand over power. Umesikia? Alisema hivyo yeye mwenyewe. And I'm also asking Ukio Mtata and the lawyers who are here. You heard the sentiments of Farouk instructing Governor Sakaja
to do what they did on that day. Now, how do the law trickle down on these people? That is my question, Abaya.
Can I
All
talk
right.
now?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Good evening. This is Elia.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, let me thank the host for hosting this space. I want to just thank our people for coming out and standing for what is right. Being a lawyer and a member of the Law Society myself, I feel what our people are feeling. Just want to tell our people that we are in this fight together, especially the speaker that spoke before me. You could have heard us in other platforms. The office of Farouk is not a constitutional office. So he has nothing at all. The law of Kenya doesn't recognize. So we shall make sure that we go to the deepest part of this all and make sure that hata kama yeye alikuwa na makosa, he has to be brought to justice. I know with the help of Senator, our good senator, all these things are possible. He has shown us the way. It is very possible. Let us make Kenya a constitutional republic. We respect the constitution. We shall not allow the government, in whatever way, be it the parliament, be it a county assembly, even the judiciary. We are also asking the judiciary to stand up. They cannot be condemning these things in public. Then when these people come before them, they are favored in a way or another. It is my first time here today. I want to really thank every one of us. I hope that shall be here for very long together. I don't have much to say, but I just want to encourage our people and let our people know that it's a very brave thing to do. Itabidi tusimame kama wa Kenya so that haki zetu zisifinywe kila mahali. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Wakili. And for gender, I think it's good to balance. We need a lady to speak so that we can know the way forward. Dolphin, take the mic kindly. Dolphin, if you can hear us. Okay, if she's not ready, Buka, you're back.
Thanks. I hope you can hear me. Maybe Abaya, you can unmute your microphone.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thanks. Okay. So, first of all, I congratulate Mudiora for co-hosting this space with Oki and Abaya. And I just wanted to say that good work all of us are doing in our own spaces and also collectively to challenge the state. I just wanted to make a few things. Since everybody is asking, what is to be done? I think that is the question. What is to be done? Because since last year, and even before last year, we've continued to lose our comrades in the streets. This is the saddest phenomena. Every day we go to the street, we are going to demand justice for ex-Masai. Then again, another comrade is martyred by the police. This time we were going to the streets to demand justice for Ojwang. Then another comrade is martyred in the streets. So does it mean that going to the street is wrong? Because some people, especially in other social media spaces, want to misinterpret that the police is right to kill the people and the people going to the street are the wrong people. But the question is, do we go to the street to spoil anything? The answer is as good as all of us know. that all of us go to the street to demand justice, to demand a fair society. And because if we stay home, we will be selling out our generations and we will be traumatized based on even the bare basic needs like food, medical services. And this is why we will go to the street tomorrow and the following day. So, and we know that even tomorrow we, but some of them die in the streets. So, brutality. But the police is an agent of killer state. The following. So it's and that the police agents of President William Samoei Ruto
Buka, you're breaking. I don't know whether I'm the only one who can't hear you.
I think his audio is bad. Maybe he can leave and then join back and then he can speak properly because he's making very good points, but we can't hear them at all at the moment.
Well, I see Dolphin raise her hand. Dolphin, if you're ready, you had a chance to go. You can do it now. Kindly, Dolphin, the mic is yours.
Give me some few more minutes. I'm in a noisy place. I'm actually walking out to the car. Just a minute.
Thank you for
Someone can just go ahead.
You'll get the chance. Farah, naona to join. Tafadhali.
Yes, Mudhiora. Am I audible?
Nafasi ni yako, unasikika vema, lakini kabla useme zaidi, ningependa kuwajulisha wote kwamba tangu jana usiku kuna comrades ambao wamekuwa Kenyatta National Hospital wakishughulika kuhakikisha kwamba wale ambao walipelekwa huko wanapata huduma wanayohitaji. Nazungumza kuhusu na comrade Collins Odhiambo, comrade Okayo amekuwepo huko na comrades wengine wengi, Ojiro, Hussein Khalid, mlimwona senator alikuwepo huko, yani watu kibao. Wale wenzetu ambao walipelekwa Kenyatta National Hospital wamepata huduma ambayo walikuwa wanahitaji na wanaendelea kupata matibabu. Now, there's this one case that I'm sure everyone needs information about, and that's the brutal shooting of Comrade Karaoke Boniface. We spent the day making sure that he was duly received and was being attended to. We've been with the dad at K&H all day, and I wish to confirm that the family was allowed to go in and see him. I personally got an opportunity to get into the critical care unit room where our comrade is receiving treatment. The statement that the hospital has given out to the public, for once, I will tell you, there is a government institution that's truthful, because what's in that report is actually accurate. Our comrade is still in induced coma. Yupo hai manake zile mashini ndo zinamwezesha kufunction. Alifanyiwa surgery jana, na baada ya surgery ile anesthesia bado iko kwenye system yake. Kwa hiyo zile response ambazo zinatafutwa kuangalia kama hali yake ni nzuri bado haziwezi zikapatikana. What do you mean? Well, what I mean is they've done they were calling it the GCS tests, and the report that responsiveness yake iko 4 out of 15 inaweza ikawa inasababishwa na anesthesia ambayo iko ndani ya system yake, ambayo baada ya 24 hours madaktari wanasema itakuwa imewear out, kwa hiyo tutapata hali kamili. Huenda pia ikawezekana kwamba he is not responsive because of the injury to the left side of his brain, but we cannot tell for sure until the anesthesia has worn out. Now, the dad did confirm that his son has been in good health. So were it not for the injury, Boniface would be going about the business of hustling like he was doing when he was brutally shot at. So ndugu yetu yuko hai, he's fighting for his life, but then doctors at the Kenyatta National Hospital are doing all they can to give him the care that he needs. So I do not have any further information besides what I have shared, but then tomorrow, after the anesthesia in his system wears out, the doctors will give an update. Now, they're doing this through the family, and like I have confirmed to you, we had his dad at KNH. He actually got to know about the shooting through a phone call on his way home at around 8 last night. He was able to make his way to Kenyatta National Hospital at around 10, and he spent the night there. So him together with other concerned Kenyans were following up on those who were injured and had been admitted to the Kenyatta National Hospital. So I'm here in case anyone has a question, they can shoot, but it's only with regard to the information that has been shared to the family by the doctors and the hospital. But so far, I can confirm that the statement that was issued by Kenyatta National Hospital is accurate. It's what the situation is at the moment. So Farah, ulikuwa unazungumza, mic inakuja kwako.
Thank you, Muthiora. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, I'll keep it very brief and very short because mine is just to say tutokeeni kwa streets, and I'm not talking about Gen Zs or any age group. It's beyond demographics and kujigawanya. Sijui sisi ni Gen Z, sijui sisi ni millennials. That's a very stupid mentality because where we are standing at, we are facing an existential threat to the existence of Kenya as a democratic country. If it gets to a point whereby tunapigwa tear gas na goons, what's stopping them from arming the same goons? Because it's the same people who are arming the RSF in Sudan. So wewe na mama yako na watu wenu wote tafadhalini. It is very, very important. And we have to be very clear about what we want as a people. It's not about Ruto must go. No. We need to invite the civil societies. We need to invite the religious leaders. We need to work as a country. And we need Lagat arrested. We want justice for both Albert and justice for Boniface Karaoke. We want these madness of police brutality to end. Because hatuwezi tukakulipa mshahara, ukupe silaha na utuwinde. It doesn't work that way. This is a breach in the social contract that is Kenya. And it's time for people to show up. What Lagat has done, stepping aside, ni kama kuambia, oya Omtata, niangalie duka na kam. Si atakam. At the end of it, he will be back. And what happens after that? Because the next hashtag inaweza kuwa mmoja, any one of us. So stop delegating your duty to this country. We can sing this 100 or 1,000 times. How is Shakira more brave than you? Najua, she left more than all of us, but she's a lady who stands always at the forefront of the protest. How? Honestly, jiulize maswali zingine, because if you have a functional country where your kids get education and they get healthcare and they get basic necessities and is the infrastructure that works, even if you do not have the money, even if you're not successful personally, you are still happy for your kids to inherit that country. Leo mtoto wako anarithi nini? Hauna mali, hauna kazi, hauna chochote, nchi yako inaporwa. Isn't it madness? And you're very comfortable because uko kwako. Albert pia alikuwa kwake, tena amewekewa chakula kwa meza, yet he died on the same night, not even having eaten the food. So no one of us is safe. You can act holier than thou and pretend that hii si shida yangu, but kiukweli, let's see where you'll go outside Kenya, because hatuwezi tukahama. It's the Arabs who built Dubai and all these places. It's the Americans who built America. It is our responsibility to develop these lands. Na kama imekushinda, do not push negativity or anything. Songa pale nyuma, lamba glucose, utatupata mbele. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Farah. Corazon, umejoin panel ya speakers. I hope uko tayari kutupa mchango wako. Corazon akijiandaa, tafadhali Tomboya, tuko na wewe. Ikiwa una la kusema, itisha mic by waving. And as we do that, I see Idris is already waving. Idris, come through, please. Before tuende kwa Mkenya.
Okay, thank you. Let me recognize the presence of our beloved Senator Okia, Rasji, and all other speakers here, together with my listeners. One thing that we need to understand is that we are in an era whereby digital revolution is something that is going to expose each and every kind of a crime committed by this impunity regime. So having seen what happened yesterday, it is quite unfortunate that people were shot on the street of Nairobi, and the sentiment that some of the people made, including the president the other day, saying that he will not hand over power to some people who are vying for that seat. It is quite unfortunate. And if we are not very careful, I can say, and I can guarantee you guys that we are heading in a way that Sudan went through. If those are the sentiments that are coming from the mouth of a leader, it is very quite unfortunate. So having said that he's not willing to give out power, the revolution that is ahead of us is going to be lateral if the president is not careful. Why am I saying so? This is because he came out and said that he will not hand over power at all, which means that beyond not handing over power, and then he made claim that he will do everything, even if it is meant for him to sacrifice his life, is there to stay. So this is a revolution. I need us to understand that this is a revolution that is coming up to fight for the impunity of this rogue regime who doesn't care the life of its citizens. I know, and I do believe that some of the government officials are here, and I want to assure them that life is not an optional. Life is not an optional thing. And if someone is thinking that life, he can just take away the life of Kenyans, we are at watch, and we are not going to allow. We are not going to allow. So I don't know how far the legal field have taken the sentiments which were made by the president, saying that atapita na watu wamefikisha wapi, because it is quite unfortunate hearing someone who was supposed to be a symbol of national unity making a threat to its citizens. It is very quite unfortunate. Secondly, or as I went up, we need to be very vigilant and we need to be our brother's keeper. Be it us going to Maandamano, we need to be our brother keeper. Because if it were not for yesterday people who are watching and taking videos of what was happening yesterday, it is quite clear that this is a government that are there to kill people. So we have to be very vigilant, we have to be very cautious. As I went up, what also happened yesterday concerning the hired goons, it is quite unfortunate that these people, some people whom we elect and we expect them to hold a very high decorum in the public offices, are now misusing their power, mobilizing youths to come and fight. So we need to address these issues and give a stern warning to each and every people who are trying to disrupt tomorrow peaceful Maandamano. So without consuming a lot of time, I think those are my submission that I can make, that let us not go the way Sudan went, the way Burkina Faso went, because I can see if we are not careful, we are going to go the way Burkina Faso went. And it is quite unfortunate if we are not going to be careful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input, Idris. I see we have Wakili Wegesa here. He's still with us. And Wakili Baraka, mmetajwa profession yenu kwamba kuna kitu mnaweza mkawa mlifanya kucounter haya matamshi ya Ruto. You can take 30 seconds just to clarify if there is something that the legal fraternity is doing to address those very unconstitutional statements that the president made with regard to handing over power.
The constitution on this matter, it's Article 187, the transfer of power. It does not necessarily. Does not necessarily. That is, let me get the focus, the right article, so that I can actually read it verbatim. But the gist of it is that for transfer of power from one government, that is after an election, the president or the officials from the other government do not have to be there for the transition to happen, not the transfer actually, it's the transition to happen. So I think that is not something that we should be worried upon. What should worry us is the violence that could be meted out to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. That will be something that we are discussing right now. That's why we're talking about police brutality or state-sponsored violence. How do we prevent it so that they do not mobilize to prevent that peaceful, that swearing in, because that is something that could happen.
Thank you very much, Baraka. Mkenya mzalendo, tunakuja kwako. Wazalendo wenzangu, kuko hivi, waliguza pabaya. Kesho hawkers wamepanga maandamano ambayo hawkers hawajawahi fanya Kenya. Kwa hiyo kama hutajiunga nao kutetea haki za Wakenya kuandamana na kufanya biashara, tuambie utakuwa unafanya nini? We've been with them at the Kenyatta National Hospital. They've been patient enough. They believe they've given the government time to address what happened yesterday. And they've seen that the government has not taken sufficient steps. So tomorrow, they have mobilized. They'll be going to Kamukunji to look for that police officer who brutally shot Boniface at a point-blank range. So if you're not going to come out for justice, at least come out for these cadre of Kenyans who work so hard yet are not recognized for the impact they make to our economy. Kwa hiyo hilo linatokea kesho, tumehakikishiwa kwamba watakuwepo, wewe utakuwa wapi? Mkenya mzalendo, mic ni yako, twende kazi. Tomboya, jiandae, toaja kwako Abaya, utakuwa unatupeleka hiyo phase nyingine. Twende Mkenya mzalendo. Okay, it appears Mkenya Mzalendo is having an issue with Mike. Dolphin, you had requested.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Carry on, carry on.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And also, I want to thank Kenyans for keeping the spirit. I know it's not been easy, but my main concern is, as a youth, what next after the protests? I know, because what I'm wondering is we have to change. There's so much we need to change within our system, and mostly to Senator. I know Senator is wanted to vie for the presidency, and that's my main question to him is, how can we mobilize? Because Kenyans are angry and we want change, you know, and you've shown us through even the court systems and all, we can actually implement change. So how can we mobilize even after the protests, during the protests, into an actual movement to undo all this that the political class is, the mess that the political class is putting us into? So that's my question to the senator, but thank you so much for the contribution.
Tomboya, Mike ni yako. Abaya, angalia nani mwingine amekuwa anajipanga kutupeleka na mutaratara. Twende kazi Tomboya.
Well, asante sana na nasalimia Wakenya wote. Thank you so much for your resolve on speaking on behalf of the silent majority. I just want to encourage us to continue with this and the determination that we are going to get to the. I think that it's now time that we try to mobilize in an organized fashion. I hope in a way it will help us achieve something. There's just one thing I wanted to say with regards to the direction we are taking. We are resetting this country and we are not going to remain silent no matter what happens. It is very evident that the regime is already washaogopa, and it's like they are also running out of options to an extent that they now prefer kuweka wananchi against wananchi, not necessarily police against police. But we are going to push this further. And at the end of the day, I hope we are all looking at a better Kenya. And we have a hope that after we succeed by making this regime to bow down, we will need to have leadership. I'm encouraging Kenyans because at the end of the day, we are being asked that you are saying Ruto must go. After that, what next? What is your plan? I'm reminding us that we have a leader who is largely embraced by the voices, the majority of the voices that are seeking for change. And that leader is Okia Omtata. Let us try to organize ourselves behind him. That is what I really wanted us to know, because we are going to reset the leadership of this country. Thank you.
Thank you so much, comrade. I don't know whether Dolphin, you're in a position to speak now. We want to hear from ladies now.
Oh, thank you so much. It's a privilege. Thank you so much, Senator, and all other panelists, Abaya. Thank you so much. First of all, I'd like to emphasize on the issue of protests. I think we keep on skipping days of protest. Like, for instance, we had planned yesterday, we had a protest. Again today we skipped. Though we didn't, I think we skipped because people are actually going to visit the victims who got injured yesterday. I was thinking that going forward before the 25th that is planned, because I see a lot of tweets on the same about what will be happening on 25th. I was thinking if you can change a strategy whereby we apply, we just do mandamanos like consistently, daily, on a daily basis, I think it might change political dynamics on the other side, because the president, I think, is used to, today we are on the street, the other day tuna relax, we are giving them time to re-strategize and also to do other things, you know. So I was thinking if there is a way that we can come out, but again, Gen Zs were like, where will we get all that fare for daily going to town? I don't think if we should necessarily concentrate on the CBD, we can as well protest along the highways. We just barricade the roads, we paralyze transport and everything. Like senators said that tomorrow the business people, the hawkers and everyone will be joining us on the street. That's a good news. And I'm so happy that tomorrow maybe the turnout might be bigger as compared to yesterday. So I don't know what you're thinking, but Mheshimiwa, you can tell us if going by the maandamano that we used to do the years of Raila when he was a young boy, we used to do like maandamanos throughout the week, like a straight consistently. There's nothing, businesses are not going on, nothing is going on. If they can literally listen to us, that's all I have. I can land there.
Thank you so much, Dolphin. And indeed, I agree with you that things are not right, and we have to show up tomorrow so that we can seek for change and also justice for these people who've been killed by the rogue police officers. And one thing for sure, this government is made of killers. We've seen it before from last year. They continue killers. We go to the streets and they continue killing us. So we must look for a way. There must be a solution on how we're going to end this. It's not going to be. They're not going to continue as business usual. Let the police continue killing us with no accountability. I can see Tom Boyer. Tom Boyer, you can go ahead and give your submission kindly.
I've just spoken. I'll come back later.
Okay, thank you so much. Evans, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. So, Senator, our country is in a dire situation where we need leadership. We're going to remove William Ruto from power, and we need you to take over. Senator, I am vying for the Member of Parliament for Kasarani on behalf of young people for the sake of change that you want to bring. Senator, we need you to give us directions, because once we remove William Ruto from power, we need you to take over. So what is the plan? Because as things stand right now, we're not going to bring reforms to the police fraternity at the moment because of the current regime and the way it is put in place. We need a complete overhaul of the system. And that is why young leaders with a progressive mindset in leadership like us are now rising up to support your vision and mission. So for us, as your foot soldiers, Senator, what we need is just clear directions. And when the right time comes, we have an army that is going to take over. Otherwise, I'm in solidarity with the various demonstrations that are still going on until we get justice. And one more thing, DIG Lagat must vacate office and be in prison immediately. Thank you.
Our agenda basically is a simple one. The agenda to set up the Second Republic, because the First Republic ended with the repeal of the old constitution, which had been amended many times. We got a new constitution in 2010. But if you look at what is happening, these people have refused to implement that constitution fully. They are basically cherry picking what they can implement, what does not take away. They are avoiding things about accountability, limitation on power, and stuff like that. So the agenda we have is just to implement this constitution and then go forward and begin. That's the way out of the hole, is to implement the constitution. Then the way forward is to pursue prosperity. How do we make Kenyans rich? How do we make our taxes work for us? What do we need to open up the Kenyan to position Kenya globally as an effective economy, both regionally and globally? What kind of things do we need to be attractive to local investors, first of all, to our own people? How do we make Kenya work for the local simple investor who wants to invest and doesn't have to go to a Ponzi scheme? Even before you talk of foreign investors, how do we make Kenya an environment for investment? So that's why I've spoken about things like separating the treasury from the Ministry of Finance. And that one is a thing that is in the Constitution, Article 225, Clause 1 is very clear. We need to set up the treasury under its own act of parliament. And that will restore the power of the past to parliament so that MPs don't have to run after the president begging this, begging that. They just go to parliament, slag it out with each other, make a budget, and give the budget to the president to implement, or the governor, if it's the county assembly, and then they supervise that implementation. We get rid of things like CDF and what have you. Go to the Constitution, you look at Article 53, Clause B, it says every child is entitled to free and compulsory education. Basically means that who charges fees? It's the state. So basically, it means that as you vie to be a leader, Evans, you must work out to understand that you must make your people understand that the question of paying school fees in Kenya for a child, and that's anybody under 18, is unconstitutional. You can refer them to Article 53, Clause B. And parents should know that when that money that is supposed to go to school fees is liberated, they'll be able to use it for other things and to run the economy. So the Ministry of Education should not be making a fee structure. That whole thing is unconstitutional. So those are the kind of things we want to do. So to get in and just say, let us implement this constitution. And even before we get into formal power, we must get into what they call de facto power. We must become the visible power before we become legitimately the power. We must begin governing Nairobi. Just like yesterday you said, governing Kenya. Yesterday you said it's a shutdown in Nairobi. You exercised de facto power. Nairobi was shut down. So there are things like those. We are going to say that the presidential election will terminate at the constituency, and that will have to happen. So that will be de facto power. They can pack, let's say, the IEBC, whoever they want, but we shall make sure that using the technologies we have and whatever, we will call the election at the county, at the constituency level. We will not wait for anybody to go to Bomas to bamboozle us with Tanzanian choirs and what have you. So our salvation lies in implementing the constitution, and we have taken up 4 key chapters, other than the chapter on chapter 1 on the sovereignty of the constitution, the sovereignty of the people and sovereignty of the constitution. We have gone down and looked at the Bill of Rights, the chapter 4, the Bill of Rights. We have looked at chapter 6 on the leadership and integrity. We have chapter 7 on elections, how power is acquired. Very, very critical. And we are going to make sure that we are implementing that before we get into office by being a de facto force. They have also gone to chapter 12, public finance. So that's chapter 4, chapter 6, chapter 7, and chapter 12, public finance. There have been a lot of economic crimes that have been committed. We are thinking in a debt. If you have read my petition, I've been able to demonstrate that we have overpaid the legitimate debt by close to 3 trillion shillings overpayment, and yet we still owe some 10.7 up close to 11 trillion shillings. So when you look at that, the 2.3 trillion that you have overpaid and the 10.7 that is outstanding in our books, you find that we have got this odious debt of about 13 trillion for which somebody has to pay. So we are going to deal with those people. We are going to clean up this thing. You realize that this country, there are a lot of things that have been grabbed. You look at the ADC farms. ADC was set there for research and development in terms of agriculture and what have you. They're all stolen by do no gooders. So for me, I think that we should put our minds on implementing the Constitution. If you look at Article 40, Clause 6 in the Bill of Rights, it says the right to property does not extend to illegally acquired property. So people have to demonstrate how they acquire their property. Where we live in a country where the richest people have either been politicians or civil servants. So they will need to tell us how they made their money. If they made their money legitimately, well and good. If they stole from the public, we simply say, this Zakayo moment has arrived. Give it back to us. So what we are going to do is to put this country back. The word republic in the name of Kenya must be given its true meaning and its true place. A republic means a government of law. A republic is a distinct system of organizing society. So we chose a republic, and if you look at the national anthem, the Republican dream is very, very clearly spelled out. And that republic today has died. So the only way to get back to it is to implement the Constitution, and to implement the Constitution, and to implement the Constitution. There's no other way out. And we have to resist these fellows of NADCO who had come together to say that they want to change the Constitution. I don't know, to remove this, and I don't know, to expand the executive to give themselves jobs. And that's why we are averse to anybody who was in the NADCO process. Unless they come out deliberately and they denounce it, we're not going to entertain NADCO, because NADCO is designed to defang the Constitution, to remove its fangs, to remove its teeth so that it can become toothless. So Evans, as we go forward, I encourage you to, in your endeavor to join politics, organize. Politics about numbers. Make sure you get people to understand the mission and the vision, and to tell them that what we want to do is to implement the laws of Kenya in everything that we do. We want to do that, and we want to do that like yesterday, and we're not going to allow anything to stand between us and the law of Kenya as it is. I would leave it there.
Thank you very much, Senator. Ambacho Senator amesema hapo kuhusu our national anthem ni kwamba ni anthem ambayo ni foreign kwetu sisi kama wananchi. Actually, come to think of it, besides Mungu nguvu yetu, what other thing can be connected to Kenya? Just think of it. Go to the second line, third line, maliza stanza ya kwanza, nenda stanza ya pili, nenda stanza ya tatu. Hii anthem kweli ni ya Kenya, ama hiyo Kenya sio hii yenye sisi tunaishi. We need to actualize the words, the spirit of our national anthem. It's only fair because our forefathers fought so we could have freedom, we could have justice, we could have prosperity. Matojo, kama uko tayari, tafadhali chukua mic, dakika mbili land point. And as you do that, I just want to remind you guys that kesho hawkers wameomba muwaunge mkono, na tunawaunga mkono kutafuta justice, end police brutality. Matojo, chukua mic. Rasji, uko kwenye sideline, kwa hiyo Matojo akitoka unaingia wewe, alafu tuna drop. Kama umeongea, toka kwenye panel ya speakers, tuwape wengine nafasi. Twende kazi Matojo. Well, it seems... Oh, Matojo, you're coming through? Carry on.
On my part, I would like to propose the way in which this police brutality can be resolved. To me, I think there are two approaches. The first is long-term approach, which is sustainable approach. And the second approach is immediate approach. Starting with immediate approach, I strongly believe that's a very immediate approach to resolve police brutality is to make sure Mr. Ruto is ousted from the office of president through election come 2027. And I think this must be the first priority of every Kenyan who wish Kenya well. That's a first effective, immediate solution to any police brutality. Without which police brutality will continue in Kenya and will be part of normal life of Kenyans. That's one. And you must not put all your eggs in the same basket. I think you must have two approaches. One, make sure that you vote in large numbers to choose a new president, but at the same time, you make sure that you elect member of parliament from opposition side, majority. That means if there will be election rigging and you have majority in the parliament, meaning in the Senate and in the National Assembly, you can impeach him. That would be alternative. If you cannot remove him through election, if you cannot remove him through ballot, also you can remove him from office through parliament after general election in 2027. That's my my opinion on that, on after the immediate one. But the second, which is sustainable, I think, I had an opportunity to study. I'm not Kenyan anyway. I'm East African, but I had an opportunity to study, to read the Kenyan Constitution, comparing that Kenyan Constitution to other East African countries like Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. I can say Kenyan Constitution is the 2010 Constitution is the best constitution in East Africa, but still it has its own problems. It's not perfect. And through the experience of almost 10 years ago, from when the constitution was enacted in 2010 up to this moment, there are a lot of challenges or inherent weakness in your constitution, which have been coming up here and there. So I think if the new president is elected come 2027, I think you need to make some significant changes in the constitution, but not those changes contemplated by unchecked government of Odinga and the President Uhuru Kenyatta of expanding the government and creating offices. Hello?
Land.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm proposing that you have to make some significant amendments in the constitution, with at least among other objectives, with one objective to make sure that you abolish imperial presidents in your constitution. Because if you study the Kenyan constitution, of course it's a good constitution, but you find that almost everything in Kenya revolve around the presidency. The parliament is controlled by president. Almost even judiciary, you can see that is controlled by president. So you need at least to abolish completely this imperial presidency from your constitution. Maybe we can discuss that imperial presidency later on what it means and its implication on actually, because that has a significant contribution in promoting police brutality.
Thank you so much. I can see the news guy is here. The news guy.
Thank you, Zebedee. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I just want to say that this is quite an insightful conversation. My name is Marvin Ibrahim, but of course, people know me popularly as the news guy. Now, I have three proposals regarding the subject matter. The first one is in regards to how we can end police brutality through a citizen-led initiative. And this is my proposal. Now, we do know that the salaries that our policemen and our policewomen earn do not allow them to live the kind of lives they live. And the kinds of lives they live are afforded through bribes and corruption. And my proposal then would be to cut off the very arteries that feed these policemen. How can we do this? A zero tolerance to bribe policy at citizen level. What do I mean? Kama uko kwa matatu and you see the driver attempting to give a police officer a bribe, yeah, 50 bob. As a matatu, you come together and say no to Kate. If it's on the streets, you see a policeman harassing a hawker, anamuitisha nipe 200, we cut off all those arteries. And that will now make them wake up to the reality of their lives and the reality of their situations. Because wako na kiburi kwa sababu the bribes we give them inawapea the ability to live lives beyond their means. But I believe once we cut off those channels of bribes and corruptions, if someone is taken to the police station, you insist kama ni bail iandikwe na tupewe official receipt ya government kwamba huyu alipewa bail, si bail ya M-Pesa, sijui enda utoe agent wapi. And we do that through citizen-led initiatives. That, in my opinion, would be the best way of instantly dealing with them. What I realize, this life does not, kama polisi. When they start waiting for their salaries from payday to payday, bila hii pesa wanakula hapa katikati, enyewe maisha tunaishi, hata sisi the government is not doing right to us, and we need to treat these people as human beings. Now, as number 2, in regards to mobilization and, in regards to mobilization for the protests, and I'm going to speak and
Seems like our comrade there is having trouble with connection. Corazon, you've been hanging on the line for a bit of time. As we wait for our comrade to get it together, chukua mic Corazon, tuambie machache kuhusu ni vipi tunaweza tukatako hii police brutality, but most immediately, how are we going to stand for Albert Ojwang, for all those comrades who were brutalized yesterday, including Jonah Karioki's son, Boniface, and all the others who are in hospital today. Corazon, the mic is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you for providing us with this platform. It's a very sad time in our history, and as the news guy was saying, if we can try and cut the bribes that we are giving to these policemen, maybe they will realize that they are also getting paid peanuts. Maybe they will also realize that the economy is getting tougher each day. And also something else, it's so clear that these policemen are they're being supported and defended by higher power. Because tell me why we are on the streets protesting about police brutality. We want it to come to an end. And then they murder one of us. They just shoot one of us in the head, like straight up in broad daylight. It's so clear that they are being defended by someone else. It's so clear that they know that there is nothing Kenyans can do to them. There is nothing we will do to them apart from going to the streets, getting tear gassed, getting murdered, and getting shot at. It is so clear. So maybe, as much as we try and reduce those bribes we are giving out, maybe we should also start by dealing with the higher powers that are giving these policemen the power to execute such things. What was the next question? Oh, I remember. When it comes to standing with Ojwang and the young man who was shot yesterday, we will not get tired of going to the streets. We will not get tired of using social media. It is in a point in time where social media is coming in really handy, as much as they really wanted to restrict some things, but we will use social media, we will go to the streets, we will keep fighting, we will get support from other countries, we will still win. At the end of the day, they might kill us, but they will not kill all of us. They will tear gas us. But at the end of the day, they will sit and look back and feel that we are not giving up. And they will see that we are not giving up. Because 2027 is here. The power belongs to us. We will turn out in very big numbers and we will vote. We will confidently vote, and we are going to vote for the leaders we want. We are going to vote for a government that will listen to its people, a government that will not kill its people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corazon. Quite insightful there. Eric, I see your hand is up, but as you prepare to come through, Dolphin, we'll give you 30 seconds and then kindly pass over the mic to Eric. Carry on, Dolphin.
Okay, I actually wanted to differ with Motojo, the initial speaker, but apparently he mentioned that he's not a Kenyan. So I think to some extent, maybe he's not understanding what is happening in the country. Like, for instance, just to clarify further, because he was talking about how the approach, we should respect the police. Who are the police anyway? I think they are human beings just like us. And these people are being paid to protect lives and property. Like, for instance, yesterday, if there is anyone, Shakira is here. We were at the Nation Center yesterday. We were praying. The protest had not started by then. And these people, they just threw 2 tear gas where we were standing, and we were actually, there's nothing wrong we had done by then. We were just praying, and they threw that tear gas on us. And you expect us, you people, to go and kneel down and beg them and do what? And there's nothing wrong that we did. There's nothing that was stolen at that time. People were just praying. We were just praying for a peaceful protest and for a successful day. So, guys, it is not all about that. The common mwananchi ndio wako na shida with the police. It is the police that is not taking their responsibility. They are not doing their job. And I know even tomorrow, they'll still shoot us, they'll beat us. But let us pray for a successful day. Thank you so much. I'll land there.
Great. Mmesikia ambavyo amesema kwamba tunachokifanya kina hatari, lakini hiyo hatari ndo wazalendo huwa wana embrace kukomboa taifa. Tuwe tayari. They will shoot at us. They will attempt to kill us. They will attempt to maim us. They will attempt to steal from us. But then we must not cower. Eric, mic iko kwako.
Thank you very much. This is actually my first time speaking in such a forum, and I want to thank everybody wenye alitokea jana maandamano, and everybody who's been on the forefront to fight for our nation. It's quite unfortunate, or it's fortunate, mimi siwezi attend maandamano since I'm not in the country. Something that I would like to say, and I would like to urge and see if we can try to solve me, how do people in the diaspora participate in this maandamano? Mimi siwezi enda maandamano, but I can provide resources. So if we can have a way enye itatusaidia ku collect maybe funds to help with maandamano, and campaign for people who are willing to bring a change to our country. Because mtu kama mimi, I don't want to raise my kids nyumbani. I don't want to raise my kids anywhere else. And I want a country that works for me. It's very unfortunate that companies with resources kama Safaricom and Equity, they can't say anything because they're in bed with the government. And these are companies that are supposed to stand for the people, because the people are actually the ones who are funding these private companies. My question is to Okia. How can we then make sure that we lobby for the right reasons? Because you understand the structure of parliament, you understand the politics that go on in there. How can we participate in lobbying for change? Just not, because our war is fought on many fronts. I think we should also fight to change laws so that Zizuia or to come out to ever occupy the government ever again, and make sure that they're accountable whenever they leave. How then do we make sure that we bring about this change? Not just kila siku watu wakiuliwa ni maandamano. How do we, as people, how are we empowered through the parliament and the Senate to actually lobby for these changes? Because I know there are many people in wangetaka ku participate in this maandamano and provide resources or information in any way they can, but they can't. But then how do we do that? And also the last thing, we also need to find a way to reach everybody in the country so that they know what is going on. How do we communicate with everybody? How do we, even if niku expand pages za gazeti zenye maybe 2 pages a week zenye zitakuwa ziki-educate watu wenye hawawezi kuwa kwa space kama X, or maybe radio, or because sasa influencers wetu instead of fighting for justice and peace wana fight venye betting itarudishwa, and I think that is a problem. We need to debunk watu kama hao, we need to kuwaondoa, but we also need our own team enye na communicate vitu zetu. Niliona jana government imeanza kitu inakaa podcast KBC na sijui bonga sijui na nani, this guy or communication. That is nonsense, and I think we should combine resources to watu kama hao, hata kama ni kulipa programs 30 minutes in educate watu or something. That's the only way I can think enye mimi naweza saidia as a person, and also because we have a lot of people who pia wanataka kusaidia kwa hizi maandamano, but they don't know how to. Please give us direction.
Yes, a parliament is one thing that needs to be understood that's my brother Eric. Parliament is one thing that needs to be understood in terms of how it has been emasculated by an imperial presidency. Parliament is basically a toothless bulldog, if I may use the idiom, literally. And unless we deconstruct the imperial presidency, we are unlikely to get any headway, because the president, using Achebe's words, the president holds the cake and the knife. So, and you have seen MPs make a budget in parliament, forget about it, then they go following the president, wherever the president is, asking him for, be it in State House, be it whatever, asking him for development, telling him that if you do ABCD for us, we need this road, we need that road. Ideally, the parliamentarian should be the boss, should be holding the path, should be holding the money and telling the president how to use it. But because we have failed to separate the treasury from the Ministry of Finance, and the president is the treasurer, and yes, the money, he ignores the budget, and that's what he wants. So MPs have to go and bow before him, or kneel before him, or prostrate before him, to be able to be given some little money to show some projects here or projects there. The first thing we need to do is, we were to take the power of the past back to parliament, deconstruct the imperial presidency. I'm telling you, this country will be very, very organized, and MPs will restore the way forward. So the way forward for me is that we just have to implement the constitution. And that's why I've felt that a lot of things that we're talking about, be it the laws, be it whatever, of course, some laws have been passed that have been able to claw back from what the constitution says. Like the constitution requires that all money raised by the government should be put in the consolidated fund or in another fund established by parliament. You go, when you look at those amendments that were done to the Public Finance Management Act in 2014, they virtually allowed the state people to borrow money, and the cabinet secretary for the treasury to borrow money and keep it in offshore accounts, which has brought us a lot of these problems we have. So for me, there's no other way forward. There are two things. First of all, we must think of the way out before we think of the way forward. The way out is to get this country back on the foundation of a constitutional democracy, where power is limited, where the law is king. Then now the way forward, we now come up with the structures to promote prosperity at the individual level. We come up with a taxation that allows money to remain in people's pockets so that they can invest, consume, and drive the economy. We come up with partnerships that are reciprocal, so that when we engage with other countries, we make sure that there's a direct benefit to ourselves. We look at a way of entrenching our strategic position in the region as a gateway to the region and not losing it to new players who are coming up. We revamp our industries. We go back and begin move manufacturing. We know now manufacturing basic household goods was mainly the backbone of our economy. People are now manufacturing. People are now our neighbors. Our neighbors are now manufacturing the same things that we have been manufacturing and selling to them. We need to strategize to improve our economy in the way of saying that we want to go into high-tech manufacturing. We need to modernize our industries. We need to set up incubation centers for high-tech manufacturing so that we can maintain our comparative advantage or competitive our edge over other economies in the region. Now, back to the specific issue that we have today of the police brutality. The way forward is to show these people that we cannot be intimidated. Is to make these people see that they are not planting any fear in us, and we are stronger than them, and we understand. And we understand so the demos that have been called for tomorrow is a step on the journey towards ending police brutality. We must take the word to the police. We must come out in a peaceful way and make our voices heard that we are not going to relent until the culprits have been taken off the street. And in this particular case, the culprits, we are so fortunate that a top cop, number 2 in terms of the National Police Service Command, but number 1 in terms of the Kenya Police Service, is in the dock for having a direct link to the death of a civilian in a police cell. So we need to have this guy. We must put on pressure until he's ejected from the force. We must put pressure until he's prosecuted for the crimes and properly prosecuted. So we must not relent. So the way forward in the moment, is for us to stand up, come out, and say no to this nonsense. Like somebody says, we always say, when you look at scripture, you are told, sometimes you look at the read Genesis, and you just wonder, why did Adam and Eve not just say no to the devil? They would still be in we would still be in paradise. If we don't say no to these excesses of the police, we will lack a country. They'll lock us up. They'll put us back into the 80s, into the 70s, when we were not citizens, but subjects of those in power. The difference between the new constitution, the current constitution, and the old constitution is that the old constitution virtually made the president sovereign, like the queen is, and therefore we were not citizens, we were subjects of the president. Today, with the new constitution, the people are sovereign, we are citizens, and we cannot allow ourselves to be put back in those old wineskins, whereby we were subjects. And to do that, we must come out in our large numbers and say no. And as Martin Luther King used to say during the civil rights campaign, if you stand upright straight, nobody can ride your back. So the way forward is that let us come out, all of us, and stand straight and face this oppressor and say no to him. Tell them we have a republic, and the republic, it will remain. We are not going to allow our country to be turned into a kingdom or any other formation that's not a republic. And being a republic, everybody is subject to the law with equal benefits of the law and with equal accountability under the law. That's the way forward for me. So come out, let us stand firm, let us make our voices heard, let us say that Kenya is not the Kenya of old and things will not remain the same. You see what you did with your cameras. You have been able to document and capture the criminals. And I've even seen for the goons, I've also been able to expose them. So that's the way to go. That's the way we need to do when moving forward. And ultimately, we'll get to a point whereby we must change government and get a government that obeys the law, a government that believes in the law, and a government that will then implement the constitution to a point that anybody who wants to be rich will see that the way to richness is in selling mandazi. But if you want to serve, if you want to go into public service, you are not going to make money through politics or through being a civil servant. That's where we must get, and that way we'll be able to secure our future and the future of our children and the future of our generations to come.
Senator, just before you go, allow me to ask you what your experience has been like, given that you spent a better part of the day with Boniface Mwangi's dad, together with the leaders of the Hawkers Association. You're a parent who unfortunately has had the misfortune of burying a child. What's it like?
Yes. Yeah, in the morning I came across a post that it said that the young man had succumbed to his injuries. So in my shock, I decided to look for a contact at Kenyatta National Hospital who was able to assure me, a doctor, that the young man was alive, although in critical condition, but stable, and I could go and visit. So I went to that place where I was able to meet the father. The father went and confirmed that the young man was alive. And we addressed the media, and we also shared the mobile number of the father for those who can support, because the boy is in ICU, and you know what SHA and SHIF are, they're going to come up with a big bill. We also would like him, when he gets out of the ICU, he goes to high dependency unit, then to the ward. We need him to go to the ward whereby he can be secured from, and he can go to a private ward where he can be protected. All those things will cost a lot of money. So I shared the father. I asked the father to share his number to the media, and I think Muthiora, you are there. You may know the numbers. You could also share it so that people can donate a shilling, 2 shillings, 10 shillings, 100, 1,000, can send to him, so that you can ensure that no interlopers come in between to fundraise for him, but he can have enough money to be able to go and care for his son. Number 2, the man is also a hawker. He hawks at around railways. He has got no means. Now, hawkers are hand to mouth. The time he's spending looking after his son in Kenyatta means he's not earning an income. So we also need to help him get some upkeep. So we did some small donations here and there. There's no need to disclose the amounts, but I reach out to my fellow Kenyans to think about that family. The mother is coming. There's an ID on the photocopy ID. The mother, we have sent, the man has sent for his wife to come from Muranga. She's also coming in now, which means she will also stop earning. As you know, when the mamas are at home, they earn income, they sustain themselves. She's called Susan Jerry. She'll be coming from Muranga to join her husband here to look after their son, the 22-year-old. Udani is called. So when they come in, they will not be earning an income. So I felt that it's important for us to do something, which is basically to fundraise for them directly. So I'll request Mudora, if I have the number, but it's on my other phone. I don't have the phone here. If you can share the number, so that those who are willing to donate something can donate for him, and make sure that the young man is able to be taken care of. And also to cushion him from those who might want to use money maybe to intimidate him and get him stop stop him from pursuing justice. But I was happy to have met him. It gives a human face to the victim. We also make the other guy, remember the guy who was with him when they were being shot, the two guys? The other guy, the young man, was also there. They hawked together around the Menti house. The father hawks at the Kenya at the railways, and they hawk around the Menti house. And as you heard the young people say, for them, there are people were there for various reasons. There were those who were there who were demanding justice for Ojwang. They were there who had come to steal, the goons, to beat up people and steal. The other was seen an opportunity to participate by facilitating the demonstrators with masks and also make some small coins. So they were selling masks as 10 shillings. Their profit maybe 2-3 shillings. So they were saying, if you look at when the profits we are trying to pursue, putting our lives at risk, it means we are living very difficult lives, but we want to be law abiding. And we came to do a lawful act of selling masks that people may need during the demo. Surprisingly, the police attack them and let the goons have a field day. They protect the goons but attack the law-abiding people. The demonstrators were law-abiding, they were attacked through the goons. The hawkers were law-abiding, they were shot at. Some grievously injured. And now you have this young man, you have got these young people who are just going around their business. So let us realize that enterprise in these people and support them and make sure the young man recovers well enough to go back to his family and to go back to, and he's so young, he doesn't even have a wife and children. He's only 22 years. And they go back to their family and also to go back to their trade where they get some sustenance by serving the public hawking items. I think I hand back the mic.
Thank you very much, Senator, for that information. We'll be sharing more. And just so you know, the number for Jonah Kariuki Nyambura is 0726 116 292. He'll be giving statements and updates with regard to how his son Boniface Mwangi is doing. But we urge you to support all those who are in the movement, who are trying to get this government to be accountable and to give the good governance that will move this nation forward. 10, I would like you to come in as Abaya prepares to continue this session. If you're here and you'd like to speak, Ngolep, I can see you. So after 10, it's going to be you and then Abaya will gather us. Just wave, itisha mic, utaipata. Lakini kwa wale ambao wametujoin sasa hivi, ningependa kuwakumbusha kwamba the hawkers have identified that the officer who brutally shot Boniface Mwangi yesterday is based in Nairobi. So tomorrow they'll be going to the police stations within Nairobi, starting with Kamukunji, wataenda Central Police Station mpaka pale ambapo watampata huyu afisa. Manake zile hatua zimechukuliwa na serikali kuhakikisha kwamba kuna accountability, haziridhishi. Wewe kama Mkenya mzalendo unaombwa kujiunga na hivi vita vya kupinga police brutality. Ni haki yetu kwa mujibu wa sheria. Hapo kuna jambo lolote lile ambalo halitufurahishi. Wanjiru, kama uko tayari kwa mic alafu tuende kwa Ngole kisha Abaya atatuelekeza inakuwaje baada ya hapo.
Okay, asante sana Muthiora, asante sana Abaya. Nashukuru kwa wale wote. Swahili imenisha, so let me just go direct to Wanjiru speaking. Welcome everybody. Thank you. Welcome everybody. It's on my space. Thank you so much for giving me the mic, Abaya and Muthiora. And it's time to end police brutality. And I've been listening since the space started. I've been here listening. And I do want to ask people, if you guys really think tutafika 2027, it's just a question. Do you guys think like 2027 tutafika? Today we are thinking about police brutality each and every time, you know. Do you think 2027 tutafika kweli, you know? It's just a good question to ask ourselves. Sahizi, you know, with what we saw yesterday, we witnessed a militia, we witnessed people killing it, goons being protected by police. We witnessed police killing a person and walking away like nothing has happened. We witnessed a level of inhumanity. We witnessed goons wakiwa wamepewa lungu na polisi, you know. And I wonder 2027 tutafika kweli, you know, watu wangapi watakuwa wamekufa before 2027, and hata kama tutafika 2027 and during those election 2027 will literally step down. Alisema he will step down for anybody who is saying must go. Will he really step down, you know? Will he really step down? Because we have seen a lot of goon. We have seen people, I think I would only call them militia. We have seen them. So the question is, will he really step down in 2027, or are we saying we are giving him a lot of time? I don't want to say occupy State House because I want to be respectful for Senator Okia, but I think the only big medicine is occupy everywhere we are going, occupy the streets, occupy the town. Let's make sure we have, like, I think it was Dolphin who was, or someone else was saying earlier, they would do maandamanos for the whole week. If we do occupy the whole week, you know, in the city center, in the highways, in the Thika, Kikuyu, name them, and make sure we have made a statement, and make sure we have to make a statement, guys. We have to be seen, we have to be heard. If we don't be seen, tutakuwa tunasema woi, nani ameshutiwa tena, woi, wanatupiga tena, woi, nini. Hamchoki kusema hivyo, and we have this once and for all. Thank you so much, Abai and Muthiora. And also thanks to Okia Mtata, Super Senator, for going and visiting the family of Boniface Mwangi. And that was such a beautiful thing, and giving us the updates that he is alive, and we wait for 24 hours and we still keep praying for him. I've been praying for him ever since yesterday had he was alive. I've prayed for him this morning. I keep on putting him on my heart. Let's continue praying for him, guys. He should make it, and it's so sorry. It's so sad. What the police done, you know. Hatujui kama ameshikwa. We actually need to know kama huyo polisi ameshikwa. And while at it, Lagat has to resign. That's the reason we went to the street, because of him. At the beginning, he has to resign. And while at it again, as I yield the mic, finance bill imefanyiwa second leading, and ikapitishwa to the third leading. I think you know what that means. They are rejecting that finance bill in its totality. So guys, it's time to make sure hata tukienda kwa police brutality to the streets again, finance bill inafaa kuwa rejected. Tell your MP, call your MP, waambie wasidhubutu hata kufikiria kuiweka tena. So thank you so much, Abaya. Bye.
Thank you so much, Wanjiru. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you. You've been also blessing to this revolution. And of course, finance bill is unconstitutional. It doesn't appear anywhere in the constitution. So we maintain that we have to reject it in totality. Moving next, we're moving to Atulo. David?
Well, actually, Monica was waiting to speak. So
Okay.
if we can let him have the mic, then proceed to David. Like you said.
Good.
Thank you very much. I'm Molepus from West Pokot County, and I just want to start by saying, you know, a lot of things are happening at the moment, and prioritizing our well-being is very key. And I can say, with the unity that we're experiencing in our movement, we really appreciate every other effort that each and every one of us are putting in to ensure that they take care of each one of us whenever we have maybe difficult time. And yeah, we really need that, because mental health and well-being at the moment is at risk. Then moving forward on what's happening about the police brutality, you know, it's very sad to witness that in any other revolution that's happening across the world, it tends to like claim lives of people from even the time of colonization. You know, when we were fighting colonizers, many people died for it. And I can say at the moment, what is happening in Kenya, I can say enough is enough. And I don't know what we are waiting for us now to move out and ensure that we put this regime out of power, because They are killing us each and every day, and they are doing it as fun. And I can just say, even during colonization, they had rules and constitution, but the strong people from Africa stood up against it and ensure that they are going to fight whenever. Sometimes respect comes to a point where we can say it's an end of it. We cannot be living and respecting things that is affecting us. So to me, I think it's time for us now to take power, because we have been waiting for long. Last year we were almost there, but something happened in between. But now, if we sit down and wait, we have seen our president coming out boldly saying that I'm not going to give out this power to the next person. So at the moment, as things stand, ballots should not be our option. Then moving forward, we can say like people from maybe North Rift or even the Rift Valley are like working with the government, but I can say we are suffering as few people from any other part of this country, Kenya, because a price of sugar here is the same as a price of sugar in Mombasa, a price of sugar in every part of Kenya. And being a Kalenjin, I'm a Pokot, I can say I've endured a lot. I've just finished my university. I've graduated with agricultural economics. I'm 4 years staying at my father's place because there is no job here in Kenya. And for sure, many people here in West Pokot are very willing to come out and even get more information on what is happening in Kenya. But the problem is the literacy level that we are having in our county. We are at 78% or 72%. So when you're moving forward, you have been seeing this mainstream media, Citizen TV, and all those stupid Kiveri medias trying to push the government narrative at the moment. So Kenya is a democratic country. We can come up with our own station, our own media, our own way of communication, so that we can ensure that this message and information in relation to bad governance and all this stuff that's happening in our country get to our even far end of our country, so that we can be in a good position to ensure that we are moving together as a country. Because many people even from West Pokot at the moment lack this bigger picture of what is happening in Nairobi. So to my fellow brothers and sisters who are out here fighting this corrupt regime, I can say you are not alone. And for me, the goons that show up yesterday in Nairobi, I just wish I could be there. But in case Kenya moves to a situation where it becomes like Sudan or any other part, we should not blame any other person but the president of Kenya, William Ruto, because you cannot push people towards the wall and expect them just to be silent. You are seeing what is happening in Gaza, and it never started yesterday. It started when Palestinians' lives were being lost each and every day. So anytime we get into the street, and instead of throwing now stones or even holding placards, and we start throwing other dangerous things towards the police, please, we will be doing it not because we love doing that, but we will be doing it because we're protecting our democracy, and we are working towards ensuring a better future for us now and for our kids in the future. So thank you. And I hope Okiya Mtata 2027 will be there and you're going to vote for you. But if they still then, we are ready to fight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, comrade. I hope senators heard you. Thank you for your submission. Now we can move to Atulo David.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, the hosts, for such a very good platform that you have given unto us. First of all, I want to say it is a shame that such things that we saw yesterday and the previous days and the days that have passed are happening in this country, a country that is presumed to be led by the rule of law, whereby we can have state-sponsored goons, people walking, being escorted by the police, and common citizens, innocent and armed citizens are being just armed and shot aimlessly. Whatever is happening in this country, it is not good at all. And we will not keep quiet, and we should not keep quiet. And what I can say is that as citizens, or as the good citizens of this country, we should not have fear. Let us not be afraid. Me, I am not afraid. We shall not be afraid, and we should not be afraid to still stand up and fight for what is ours, because we cannot continue living in such a country whereby citizens, innocent blood can be poured on the streets just like that, and nobody is held accountable. And even Senator, I know he is aware that we are dealing with a system that has resources, a system that has power, a system that is able to do things. They have money, they are able to control things. But regardless, no matter how difficult it is, my take about ending police brutality, let us not be afraid. In any revolution, anything can happen. Me, that is what I usually say. Even sometimes when I go to the streets, I usually go knowing that I can go and not come back. But at the end of the day, we should not be afraid, because we are fighting for what is ours. Because right now, power is in a few people. Money is in this country. Only a few people are eating the money, because it is a system, and a complicated system. But for every Kenyan, what I can say, let us not be afraid. Let us lose fear, and stand up for what is right, and for what is just. Because innocent blood cannot continue to be killed in this country, and yet you are just silent. We are quiet. There's nothing that you are doing. Let us stand up and fight for what is ours. And for those politicians, me, I have seen politicians. I have worked with several politicians, and I've seen politicians are very cunning. But for those genuine ones, we will stand with you. But for those that are lying to the citizens of Kenya, we know your tricks, and we will not stand with any politician that is condoning whatever is happening in this country. Any politician that will not, that was in support of these heinous and grievous acts that are happening right now in this country, let him be wary that in 2027 we will take them home. And so let's continue fighting, and may God bless Kenya, and let's keep on helping those families. Like today, I saw Senator with the family of the young man that was shot yesterday. Let's continue standing with those families, and let us keep on fighting, and let us not lose focus. Thank you so much. Back to you, the host. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zalendo. And as you've said, there is no resting until we get justice for the victims. We move next to Eric. Your hand is up. Do you have anything to say? Good.
Yeah, just to say thank you to everybody, and we also need to find, because so kama huko, I'm actually in Arizona, and we have a lot of people who are willing to support, but they have no means to support. They don't have, kuna wengine hawajawahi tuma pesa Kenya, they've been disconnected, but they really want to support. If we could get a way to support and also verify that this money is actually going to support the people, that would be great.
Come up again. I think Senator needs to hear you.
Well, Abaya, I actually got what he was saying.
No, but for the sake of Senator,
yes,
let him come up again.
So I'm saying, so kama huku niko Arizona, we actually have a group. It's called Rebuilding Kenya, and we have a lot of people who are willing to support the movement, but they have no means to support. You know, na Wakenya wengi, they ask you, na nikitoa pesa yangu alafu iende ikuliwe, because people actually really work hard for this money. So if we could get like a credible way to support this movement and verify that actually this money is going to support people, that would be nice.
Now, we have not thought of any fundraising in terms of the movement. With the movement is the general demand for accountability and the general demand for good governance. Because so far, what you have done, if you had me, I said that when I went to visit the father of the deceased, I gave out his number so that anybody wanted to donate towards that particular event or incident could deal directly with the family instead of going through the third party. On our side, there is a movement we are trying to do to begin pushing people to organize for the next elections to make sure that people are having ID cards, people are registered as voters, so that we can proceed to know that we have got an army going forward, that people will ensure they know how the election architecture should look like. That will happen. They will also set up their own, I think they've already established an account number, and they'll be sharing the details, what you call the pay bill and other details of how you can donate to that particular group of youth who are going out to do that campaign. It's also going to be a direct donation to them. They have acquired a sound system, a 40-foot container truck equipped with the sound system. They've got a van and other things, and they want to go around the country in all the 290 constituencies doing a roadshow and agitating for change and telling people where we went unhinged and encouraging people to prepare to engage with this regime so that we can take them out. Remember, Mr. Ruto the other day said that he will not hand over power. So that audacity must be informed by something. Either he's panicked or is prepared to, he has dug himself so much that he doesn't care about the outcome of the elections. So I want to work on those things here and there and be able to achieve the change we are trying to achieve. So the donations will go direct there. As for the wider the wider movement, like the movement demanding accountability for the specific issue of Albert Ojwang, and then we have got this young man, Boniface Mwangi Kariuki, and to support people on the street and whatever. We don't have any, personally where I sit, there's no structure. Last time the young people organized themselves to fundraise. I don't have, all I've done from my end is to contribute what I can, like to contribute water, fuel brand people so that they are able to be isolated from the goons. So that's what I've done personally at a personal level. So I've also just been trying to contribute where I can. But if there'll be any need to maybe fundraise, there might be need to fundraise. Should we get further injuries, then there might be maybe a way of the young people doing just the way they did last time, organizing themselves and maybe fundraising online and the money going to pay for these patients. We have not yet organized that, but if we get there, I think we shall have to cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, we really hope that after what happened yesterday, going forward tomorrow, and I don't mean the state operators will step back and allow Kenyans to enjoy the promise of the republic, that they can peacefully assemble and picket and petition, like they were petitioning the authorities to arrest Lagat, to ensure that Ojwang gets justice and stuff like that. So that's where we are. But if you would like to support the youth movement, the particular youth to the identity movement that's going to move around the country, agitating for change and solidifying the electoral base, especially with the Gen Z as the spearhead of the push, then maybe we can ask you they can share with you. You can share, you can give your number, you can post your number so that Mutheura can pick it. Then they can contact you people directly and you see how you can work with them. That's what I would say.
And
I think that one is a bit clear.
But first on the point, David, I'm really glad that this came from you and from the other colleagues that you interact with. We have people back here in Kenya, and for tomorrow's case in Nairobi, where we will have a protest. We encourage all those who can. If you have a space in the CBD, you can create an asylum sort of where people can retreat to when the tear gas is too much, when they need water, or just to establish if we are all right. We had these spaces last year, people had donated them, and I'm glad that Senator has not shied away to support those who have been agitating for human rights, for good governance, for accountability. So if you're here and you have a space that you can share in the CBD for civic and political education, even for just retreat when we are doing the protests, just anything that can help us inch closer to getting the republic to which our national anthem speaks. Tafadhali, join forces with those who are out there already doing something. So David, please take the next 30 seconds, complete your thought, and know that we appreciate what you're doing and what you're proposing.
Oh, thank you so much, Senator. For me, I'm right now in Nakuru, but when I will be coming in Nairobi this coming week, and I'm willing to support where possible. And so, if there are channels and ways whereby we can stand and support, let them be said, and we will be there to support and stand with those people that are on the street. Even me, I'm on the street. When I find myself in Nairobi, I always join the protest and all other people on the street. Thank you so much.
Saddam, I see your hand is up. As a buyer prepares to move the mic around, you'll have the opportunity. So carry on. Abaya, Saddam akimaliza, tuambie tunaenda kwa nani next.
Thank you very much. My name is Saddam Gashir. I want to take this opportunity maybe to thank everyone for creating time for this. I will get down to the point. Number one, we strongly condemn in the strongest terms possible whatever is happening to our young people and the police brutality. Secondly, I would love to encourage young people. Whatever we are happening or whatever is we are facing as a country is a political problem. So as much as we encourage young people to come out in large numbers and seek accountability from this administration, I wouldn't